Well, a glorious good day to everybody here on a Monday. The final
Rabbit.
Of the not quite. No, not quite.
No.
I don't know if there's a saying for the final day of the NHL season, but that's what this is.
It's the penultimate.
It's not the penultimate. No. It's the ultimate.
It's something though. It's day 258.
Oh,
ooh.
I'd say it's about 20 too many, maybe 15 too many.
258 days.
And is that including the janky, way too long preseason and development camps and
it's hard to say.
Prospect games.
I doubt it is.
John Bender was telling us how much shorter the CFL season is. Because that's
that's how the NHL wants to measure up. They say, what are the CFL doing?
Yeah. So as of yesterday, this was the courtesy of John Bender, Barn Burner Insider. NHL 257 days, NBA 236, MLB 216, NFL 157, CFL 164. So considerably longer is the point we're getting at.
Yeah. Well, it feels that way at least. Didn't sneak up on us.
Game number 1400 of the NHL season.
Right on the button.
Throw them all in together, and that's how that gets to. So,
John was also bemoaning the attendance in Toronto. Argonauts 10,857.
See, I don't know. Is that a lot? Is that
for the
CFL? I feel like that's maybe okay. No,
they kind of had some traction lately, and now they're right back to where they were. Where it's like, man, it'd be nice if we could get to 4 digits.
Yeah. Well, this is it. Game 7. At different points along the way here, definitely didn't think that we were going to get here. And then it looked like absolutely this is going to get here. This is going to happen. And Ryan, as you had suggested, that the math would suggest no, that this is not going to be the case. Here we are as the Oilers roar back from 3 down.
Yeah,
tied this thing going into a game 7 tonight. Was
it the 40s last time we saw someone force 7 after?
Yeah, it's only been mentioned.
It's ad nauseum. Yeah, the 1942 Leafs. Now, we all know about Brian Hextall and the 1942 Leafs. It's the 18th ever Game 7 in a Stanley Cup final. The previous 17, the home team is 12-5.
I like that.
However, the road team has won each of the last 3.
Boy, there's a lot there.
Yeah. Last 3, but was that COVID?
St. Louis won in Boston in 2019.
Boston beat Vancouver.
Maybe they were in the game.
Boston, Vancouver 2011. Pittsburgh at Detroit in 09.
Oh, 09.
So those are the last 3 Game 7s in a Cup final, all of them won by the...
Did any of those teams that either were home or away have the best player we'll watch in our lives on their team?
Well, Pittsburgh had Sidney Crosby. Boston, I think Marchand had 2 goals in that game. And not the best. St. Louis had
O'Reilly.
Red ass Bennington. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's not really doing it for me. Dang. Okay.
Yeah.
So however, are we foregone conclusion then, or have we? It was a 2-3 series lead for the Oilers at one point.
That's right.
3-3.
Yeah, Oilers were up 2-3.
Commanding 2-3 series lead. Yeah. There's just no way you could see a team coming back from 3, and no one ever does. But once they won 1, you're like, with this guy, it just feels like they're not ever dead until they're buried.
Yeah.
Because they could be down 3 going in the 3rd. They're still not dead. Like, what are we talking about here? Guy had freaking 4 points in back-to-back games.
If the Panthers are up going into the 3rd by 3 and McDavid scores in the first 5 minutes,
I'm throwing 5 on the old Edmonton money line. Why not?
Yeah.
Go put on some Adel diapers, buckle up, throw $5 on the Oilers, and ride this thing out. Happiness edge.
This has been the most lopsided Game 7 game series. The Oilers down 0-3 and then have been just running roughshod for 3 straight games. Like somehow this series has no business being in a Game 7 with how dominant one or the other has looked. So there you have it. Since the turnaround, 0-3 for the Panthers. They've scored 5. They've allowed 18.
That save percentage doesn't look that good, Dean.
No, I thought it was 975.
Like, boy, that's really good. It was 975 after 2 games. He'd allowed 1 goal in 2 games.
Bobrovsky in the first 3, a 1.33 goals against and a 953 save percentage. And in the last 3, 506.
506.
Seven.
No, they actually had a good chance in game 5. If Sam Bennett doesn't miss an empty net there, we probably see overtime. They nearly erased a pair of 3-goal deficits, but the other ones just don't really feel that close.
Yeah, can you just throw that board back up there? Sorry to throw you to the Wolves here, but just now you see Paul Maurice right there.
I do see him.
He is 4-0 in game 7s.
What?
4-0 in career game 7s.
Due for a loss.
He's like Eastern Conference DeBoer, eh?
But the guy at the bottom there, number 13,
Yeah.
he may want to
Pick it up.
pull up his socks a little bit.
Yeah, well, look, there's lots of money waiting for you, especially if you pull up your socks tonight. Throw another $1 million on.
Games 4, 5, and 6, he has combined 0 goals and 0 assists and a -6.
While playing on a line with,
Yeah.
Verhaeghe and Barkov.
Thinking about that act, we obviously I don't even know how to describe what I was thinking about but does this speak to, again, you need an elite offensive presence?
I don't know. I mean, we don't know what any of these guys are playing through. We have no idea where anyone's at here.
But even
he's
so,
had a monster
he's had
season.
a massive
Is he a superstar? No.
Is he a driver? He's a finisher. I think he's real good.
Wow.
And it's easy to get down on a guy right now because he's been non-existent. Like,
no one was saying this in the other 3 series. That's the problem, right?
And there's some on both sides because Draisaitl's kind of in that same boat.
Exactly.
Right?
And no one would be, and we got to think there's a hand issue there. It's the only way this all makes sense. I've never seen him not be able to shoot the puck while he hasn't ripped one good yet.
But as far as Reinhart, it's the entire Florida offense. We showed it there. It's
yeah.
Since the 3rd period of game 3, because remember, Florida wins that game 3, but the Oilers scored twice. It's 20-5. It has the offense has gone. The power play is an absolute. It's continued. They've given up more shorthanded goals than they've scored on the power play.
Yeah, and that's a tip of the cap to the Oilers penalty kill, which has been superb the whole playoffs. There's nothing new there. They were coming in at 95% on the penalty kill. It's probably 95% on the penalty kill here. And that doesn't take Panthers off the hook, but you're clearly going up against the best penalty kill in the NHL here if you're the Florida Panthers.
Be better than 4% or 5% or whatever it is. 10, 12, 14.
Back to my point about, do you need someone that can offensively drive things? Because I think the Panthers team is really good, but I don't think and they rely on depth, and that's part of their strength. But when you get in a funk like this,
I've got it.
Okay.
You know who they need? They need like a big time point producing winger. Like
115
point big winger from Quebec. Let's send him Jonathan Huberdeau.
He's
locked in
long term.
Right?
Record setting.
Yeah, chemistry.
Locked in.
Yeah.
It's him and Luke
1 for
Roberts.
19 for the series for the Panthers.
Yeah, so 95%.
And again, it gets to the point with the power play where it actually derails you.
Totally. You're sapping momentum.
You would actually, and I don't even mean it to be, I don't want the penalty.
Yeah, decline.
Because I'll just want to play. I don't want that, we didn't score again. I just want to play. 5-on-5. Let's play. Let's have it'd be the benefits of both sides, or the Panthers totally if there was no penalties tonight. But
yeah. It's game 7. I would expect you're gonna have to do something stupid to get a penalty here.
God, I hope so.
Rhett, Ryan, can Rhett and I just have a quick sidebar?
Yeah, sure. I'll just be looking at some game sheets here.
Okay. Retro. I don't know if you've thought at all about if the Oilers win tonight, like we're gonna have to put Pinder in
Therapy,
fucking witness protection program or something, because everything is going to come crashing down. All the years of Ken Holland this and Nurse that and can't build a team. And I mean, Henrique has 2 game-winning goals in the series. He got at the deadline.
Connor Brown is
Skinner. It's what are we gonna do, man?
might have to steal his backpack and throw it in the river or something, because that thing is.
I say get him like glasses and mustache and a wig or something, but it's like he's wearing a wig and he's got that already.
It's going to be hard for a few people.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Ryan. Sorry. Just it was
sorry. I was just running some numbers here.
Game Saskatoon thing.
Game 4.
2-0
Oilers. Game 5, 3-0 Oilers. Game 6, 3-0 Oilers. If you want to get off to a better start, Panthers.
Well, you guys were going to make the Betway bets. I was going to have a bold statement.
Let's take a look at our Betway.
Yeah.
And then and we'll get
Good.
to your bowl.
I like it. I like it.
It's game 7, so obviously the series
Going with some
numbers
soccer bets,
and the game
Steve.
numbers, everything's the same. There it is.
Oh boy.
The Edmonton Oilers favored on the road.
No, I think it opened as the Panthers as slight favorites, but it just didn't make sense. And so, of course, the lines moved.
Yeah, that's as of just prior to.
No, and I checked this morning. That's right.
to
That's exactly
showtime.
where we're at.
So, isn't that amazing that the home team in a game 7 is the betting underdog?
If you've watched the last 3, there's no way the
I
Oilers
know.
can't be favored here. Like,
Yeah, I know.
They look so much better the last 3. Just as after 3 games, there was no way the Panthers couldn't be. You know, why wouldn't they win game 4? They look so good in 3 games so far.
Yeah. And if you're wondering, maybe is there any value? Because of course, the Conn Smythe Trophy will also be handed out tonight.
Oh
Is
yeah,
there,
what a chance to make some money if you can drill this one. Hey, nope.
How's that?
So if you spend $5,000, you can win $100.
Yeah,
that's literally what we're looking at here for Connor McDavid.
Now
after
that said,
game 3, he was plus 750.
Yeah, that said, it's a pretty easy $100.
I was just going to say, yeah,
get it. It's a free.
There's no way he's not winning
there.
it. You're right. You're right.
They've been talking about him winning it, even if they lose since game 5. So
yeah, I think the only thing, the last chance to stop him was a Bobrovsky shutout in game 6, and that just was not happening. As noted, it was 3-0 pretty quick.
Yeah.
It's actually too high of a number. It should probably be minus 10,000.
I mean, it's
like it's a lot.
It's a free $100.
Even if he breaks his leg tonight, he's gonna win this thing. Like, there's no way he doesn't win it. There just isn't. Bobrovsky could make 99 saves and shut them out 1-0. It would not matter.
If it went to the 7th overtime, and Bobrovsky was pit like
99 for 99, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Don't matter. Yeah, don't matter.
Take your hundo.
Yeah, and you know what? You talked about you talked about the leads. The Edmonton.
Yeah,
they make it one. They think they've been up 1-0 and 2-0 in each of the last 2 games.
3.
You just said 2-0 game 4, 3-0 game 5, 3-0 game 6.
The teams that score first in a game 7 in the Cup final have won the last 8. Straight.
Oh, that was my bold
statement. Get her going, Panthers. Get her going.
That was my bold statement.
Come out and score first. Get the first goal.
You really want to get the
Doesn't make it not bold, Red. It just
start on time, fellas.
Yeah.
Panthers been really cute trying to get back into games they've fallen behind in. If they sort of play like that,
just play that.
Start the game.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a year with the Flames here? I don't know if it was Gulletson or Peters or
the
Ward or somebody. It was just like, could these assholes just start on time for once? Because they're fine for the final 40, but they're clawing their way back.
Yeah. Have you thought a lot about it, Ryan, about what
it's getting really tough to sell this thing if they don't win it tonight. I mean, I guess you could go with they needed the most heroic playoff performance in our lives and still needed a 7th game, but it's a good team. They've defended well. The goaltender, despite all odds, has turned into a really good goaltender. I mean, he was not a highly touted prospect. He did not have sterling numbers in the A. He was not supposed to be the number 1. He was supposed to be a platoon guy with Campbell. They're wasting about $10 to $12 million on dead money and bad contracts and $5 million goalies in the A, and they're still there. But again, it's just all of this is still McDavid, guys. Like, it's a good team, but if you're not getting the greatest playoff performance we're going to watch in our adult lives, it's already over. You can't really argue that.
You can't argue it, but that's
it's underselling it.
But they're still going to win, and the names are there, and the flags fly forever. If they win, they've won, and they were the best team in the league. It's just what's frustrating if you're in Calgary is that those asshats in 2014-15 thought they were taking a step forward, and they went into free agency, and we're going to push for a playoff spot. And because they were the worst run team in pro sports, and the owner had the lowest winning percentage of all owners in sports at that time, they fumbled into their 4th first overall pick in 7 years. And it happened to be the best player we'll watch in our lives. And that's just what infuriates you, because it's like, how does it keep happening up there? Why can't Calgary have nice things?
We'll start with running water.
If we could just.
We'll start with running water.
That's for a cup. Let's
go. And then we'll work our way towards the lotto balls. This is our opening statements, by the way, for McLeod Law. Shane King, partner in the litigation and dispute resolution group, specializing in areas like employee rights. If you've been laid off, if you've been terminated, that can be tough. Shane can review your situation. Make sure you've been treated fairly as the law requires, using a practical approach in plain language, not legal jargon. Yes, mcleod-law.com. It's as you sit here, it's the same way as it was after game 3. It was hard to find a path for the Oilers to do this. And as we sit here today, I have a hard time seeing the Panthers somehow pull themselves out of this death spiral.
It's the exact same thing. When you see someone lose 3 in a row to another foe, you don't expect them to win the next one. And that's why we thought this was wrapped up after a 3-0 lead. And it's also why we think it's going to have to be something like pretty freaking miraculous for the Panthers to win here, right?
The other thing we've been very bang on about, because we're so smart, eh?
We are, aren't we?
Just listen to us.
Just ask us.
Hey, there's no such thing as momentum.
There's not. Oh,
maybe in the course of a game, it's hard to feel like this isn't momentum here, right? Like this is,
of course. But again, where was the momentum after 3? To our point,
I'm trying to stay. I mean, I sold out on the Oilers, and I don't like the team. Blah blah blah. So I'm still. My point. Hard to win 4 in a row. It's hard to win 4 in a row.
Ask the Panthers.
It's hard to win 4 games in a row.
It's so hard.
Hold my breath and bet against them? No, but it's hard.
It is one game.
Yeah.
And the Oilers could be the better team and lose tonight.
Quote from Sasha Barkov. No shit.
Yeah.
It's really hard to win 4 straight.
Yeah.
He's been their best guy, but boy, it feels like he's been abandoned by a lot of that team right now.
And you know what?
Oh, man.
When we watched them close out the series against Vancouver, we're like, where are the big guys? And when we watched them close out the series against Dallas, where are their guys? Like, you have to give Edmonton credit, because part of the other team's guys not performing well is they just haven't given up a lot.
Tomorrow might be more fun than anything. It might be sour grapes here in Calgary, but the analysis of a team back-to-back finals, up 3-0.
It's the greatest collapse in NHL history if it happens.
Like, what do you do there?
To your point, down goes Brown, Sean McIndoe, whatever his name is. He's kind of a tongue-in-cheek satiric writer. He went, is this the worst collapse ever? He's like, it's not even close.
It can't be close.
It's not
Vanderbilt,
even close.
sure. Yeah.
Vanderbilt.
He's like, maybe in
another sport.
If you go to another sport, you've got the 04 Yankees Red Sox, you've got the Super Bowl with the Falcons. Like, there's other instances of massive collapses. But when you go through the NHL history, even this 1942 Detroit Toronto thing,
it's not 16 league.
He's like, guys were at war. The top 2 teams actually played each other in round 1, and then the winner of that went on to play the lesser thans. And he went through
Knuckles
it. So
McGillicuddy he missed his train. He couldn't play.
He's like, so the only other 03 come from behind to win a cup is take that off the table. If you want to go 03 period in a playoff series, there was the Penguins. They lost to the Islanders after being up 3-0. That was a quarterfinal game, or a quarterfinal series. The Bruins lost to the Flyers in 2010. That's round 2.
Yeah.
And then the Kings over the Sharks in 2014, first round.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some other where a president, like the Boston Bruins last year, President's Trophy, they lose in after a 3-1 lead. So there's been massive collapses.
Yeah.
But for it to be a strong powerhouse-esque team with a 3-0 lead and like you said, back-to-back cup finals. This isn't some Cinderella story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's hard to
that's what we were saying, was that this team has been here, they know how to do it, they're up 3-0, and
they did, didn't they? They looked calm and collected and
Bill
business-like.
Zito started throwing water bottles.
He knew. That was game 5.
Out.
Don't think he didn't know what was happening. He says, we know we got to go back to Edmonton for game 6. That's a war. And if we don't win that one, good God.
But I think, and it's easy for us to sit here, but I think that was part of the problem, was that the Panthers stopped. First of all, in game 4, they didn't go get it. And I think that was the game that they could have went and got it. I think that Skinner made that big save in the first. It ends up 8-1.
Yeah.
And you're like, what kind of idiot is saying that it was 8-1? But
they didn't bear down.
They didn't come out and put the stamp on it. And I would say that the Oilers play in that game, that was the most vulnerable they were in an 8-1 victory. But after that, the Panthers' second half of game 5, again, though you're down 3-0, you've put yourself in a shitty spot. Then you start to play like they didn't go out from after going up 3 games. They didn't go out once and just say, no, we're taking this thing.
They've
home.
been chasing ever since.
They've been waiting for it to come to them. You watch Reinhardt and Verhaeghe and some of these guys, you question maybe he's got some injuries. Those guys were waiting. They're watching the game instead of playing the way they had played and dictating the pace.
I can't remember who we were talking to, but they're like, it's tough. Like you're doing media between games 3 and 4, and people are asking you about, like how long you've been dreaming about this. Like which player were you when you were playing street hockey, when you scored the overtime winner? Like who's going to get the cup after Barkov? Like is it Okposo? Is it OEL? Do you go to your alternates? Like everyone had given it to them. And so even if it's just subconscious, there's a little bit of like, yeah, we did it, guys. Like we got 1 to go. It's not done, but we're going to do it.
But now that's where Paul Maurice needed to stop having his
stop telling Oprah jokes.
Yeah. And say, we haven't done shit.
Yeah.
The message to the media and to my guys is,
yeah,
who the F do you think you are?
And
the greatest player in the world. And it's easy to look back and say, well, why you guys weren't doing that? Well, that's not our job.
So the game was on mute when I was watching game 6 at a gathering, and you could see when it was the final moments, they go to the bench and McDavid stands up and he's leaning towards Ekholm. He's at the D point, McDavid's at the forwards, and they're leaning behind some guys to talk. And I couldn't hear what they said, and I don't know if the panel discussed it, but it clearly looked to me like McDavid said, it's not done yet. There's still work to do, something like that. And they came down the tunnel, and there wasn't hooting and hollering, and they got the windows, and all the fans are paying so much money to watch these guys go by looking for high fives. It is absolute eye of the tiger for these guys. They haven't done shit. They get that. That's what the Panthers have learned. They didn't never do that in game 4 and 5.
I agree. I totally agree.
It'd be interesting to go back and look at, like you say, that save by Skinner, because you wonder about the Oilers. How fragile they would have been if you can bear down, like you said, if you make it 1-0 and 2-0 in game 4.
Over.
It could have just been that simple.
Well, it's hard to say that now looking back, right? Because
they get
8-1 and then they win the next 2 and it's going to game 7. They're not going to give up. That's the most fragile they were. They didn't believe.
I agree.
At the end of the first period in game 4, they still didn't believe. Like they were just starting to believe that. Oh, maybe.
And in fairness, they did that to Dallas. Dallas came out 2-0.
Yeah.
Remember,
they've erased a lot of leads
in that series.
They've also blown some too when you look at the Vancouver series too. I think you can look at a moment in every game. So the first would be what you talked about with the Skinner save that could have given Florida the big lead in game 3. Game 5, Bennett misses an empty net that probably puts that thing to overtime.
Yep.
And then if you've blown 2-3 goal leads with your season on the line, who knows? But that could have been a mega turning point. Then you look at the goal review from game 6. That could have been a massive turning point. It ends up being 5-1. It doesn't look like it, but man, if it's 2-2, or you get it back within 1, whatever the score was there. Like,
I would have made it 2-1.
So like that's a huge bleep and play too. Every game has had one of those almost. And look, there might be another one tonight and it goes the other way, right? Maybe there's an empty net that is tucked in. Maybe there's a questionable call that goes Florida's way, like it did the first 3 games of the year.
And so that's why, again, I don't want to give the Oilers more hope or hand it to them because I just don't want to. You go back to game 1. So the Oilers end up losing 3 in a row, and now the Panthers have. Mm-hmm. Well, in game 1, the Oilers outplayed the Panthers. So it's a
goalie game.
So my point, I guess, is at the end of the 3 games that the Oilers lost, if they wanted to go back and pick out points in those 3 games, they could and go, well, we outplayed them in game 1. We didn't. Game 2 was close. Game 3, there were points in all those games as well where the Oilers could sell themselves. Now that's what the Panthers have to go. Fuck, if Sammy just put the empty net, put it in.
And so 2 things there. If you said it was a 50-50 series, well, that's kind of what it looks like. Like as much as it was 3-0, they were all very close games. Yep. And you could even make the case that you did with Florida, that there were some points where they could have stolen any of the last 3 or at least made them much more difficult for Edmonton. And the other side is this. It's 1 game.
Well, and it'll be
it's not
game 7 Stanley Cup final is a different vibe. Who slept?
And I think there's pressure on Edmonton now. Maybe am I crazy?
No, you aren't, because there is no.
They've been free house money since they were down 0-3. And no one believed
they are
underdogs. Now people do believe.
I think they are laser focused, and that's all fine and good. Game 7, it's a different beast. Yeah. Have you slept?
Yeah.
Honestly, we had 2 days in between, and I don't 8 hours combined.
Yeah, just too much.
After you lose or win game 6, and you're going to game 7, you talk about after game 3, and the media is well, what's everyone doing now? Game 7, going down in the history books. Game 7, Stanley Cup Finals, winner takes all. That's what you dreamed of as a kid. Well, trust me, when you're lying in bed, that's what you're fucking thinking about.
You're not dreaming. You're thinking.
You're not thinking about, you're not, I wonder if I'm going to go to Hawaii after this. Or just not enough. You're not putting a movie on and falling asleep. You're jacked up with adrenaline 24/7. Who can control their emotions? Who can step up? Who's going to fade? Like, it's going to be a different vibe.
It's the first time all year that Florida has been, in my opinion, like up against it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think they were ever in trouble against New York, even though they were down 2-1 in that series, because they dominated the Rangers and got Shesterkin in game 3. They never really were in trouble against Boston, and they just waxed the Lightning. And so right now is the first time we get to see Florida with their backs against the wall. We haven't seen it yet.
In a weird we don't know. If Florida can pull this off tonight, that'll feel almost as incredible a bounce back as what the Oilers have pulled off. If they're able to pull out of this tailspin, this death spiral, it will be something amazing. And you mentioned that, Red. And I guess, Ryan, is kind of your point. It has been a little bit of house money for sure for the Oilers. It's been, well, whatever, just go out, play loose, play that. No, now tonight, your season could be over, or you could be champions. The tone of this game, it's the first time that the Oilers are in this setup. Yep. Whereas for the Panthers, they've been playing this, we win tonight, we're champions, for about a week now. How does that affect you?
They are favored. They should win the series at this point. If you just go look at the sports books, all of a sudden it's not, no one believes us. We're the underdogs. Doubt us at your own risk. Now it's like, we got to finish this.
Who's in the room saying you haven't done shit? Stop thinking about being in the history book. Stop thinking about your immortality and you're scoring the big goal. Go work.
Well, and I think that's that Coleman McDavid. When I saw that on the bench, I think that's
I feel like that has to have been trotted out at some point. It's been a week of this, right? Yeah, it's somewhere in that Florida.
For sure, it's probably being said, but is it being? We had a meeting before Game 7 in 03-04, and everyone had a chance to go up and say something to their teammates if you wanted. You didn't have to. The one thing that none of us, even I'll go back even further. So Game 6 is overtime. We're at home, chance to win it all. Guys are talking about that stuff. Come on, fellas. We're going down in history. It's nobody, and I regret it. Nobody said, don't worry about the history books. Don't worry about shit. Do your job, and that's it. We don't have to worry about winning. The winning will take. Here. Yeah. Well, let's have a play. Let's not talk about how great it's going to feel. You know that. Talk about what's the work, what's the play, how are we going to do it? Keep your kind of keep your feet on the ground in a way where instead of starting to think about this is going to be unbelievable. That's not focused.
No,
that's dreaming. How are you? What are you managing? Are you having a sip of Gatorade? Do you have a play drawn up? Do you have you know what I mean? Are you sticking to the game plan? Are you keeping your shift shorts? Are you staying in don't get caught dreaming.
It's distracted, right?
Yeah. And you don't, but the thing is, you don't think it's distraction, right? You're talking about this is going to be the greatest thing ever. And you want to be positive, but it's not about the work. Focus on the work.
Yeah. And you're not lacking motivation at that point. You didn't need to create something bigger.
You're already in it.
Yeah. You've said that a bunch, and not like often, but like every couple of years I've heard you relay that.
Well, and
it's like someone just needed to say, guys, we're just playing hockey. Don't worry about the rest.
Whatever happens won't fucking matter, because in 5 years, guess what? I'm still going to love you like a brother. Yeah. That's all those guys in both rooms look across the room and they love each other.
Yeah.
You don't get there in these circumstances. Florida 2 years in a row, Edmonton coming back the way they have. Those teams are tight. And when the interviews are asked, I love these guys. They're my brothers. They're the best team. It's the best team I've ever played on. We're so close. That's what you're going to hear. And that camaraderie is still going to be there, whether and the game's going to be over. So no matter what happens, you're going to crack a beer and you're going to put your arm around your buddy that you're sitting beside. And
probably you're gonna cry either way.
Yeah. Sure, you want to be sipping out of the cup, but if that's all you're thinking about, then you're not I think you've lost the plot a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to describe, but I have said it before. It's like, just focus on what you're supposed to do. Don't dream about the big thing. The dream comes true when you do the work.
It's so easy to get caught up in that. And then when the puck drops, you have to realize, okay, it's a game. We're going to play 3 periods of this, same rink. And we've done this so many times in our life. The interesting thing is, too, you think about the families of the Florida Panthers. They have been flying back and forth and back and forth. I mean,
that's why it's hard, I think. Sorry to interrupt you there. But
no.
Like even my folks, it was different. The team certainly wasn't involved. And if your family wanted to go, you bought them tickets and airline tickets and hotel rooms. But I don't know how the teams deal with that. But that's the kind of distraction stuff you just like. Where was I yesterday? I was talking to somebody yesterday about going to like Florida before game 3. They flew the day before and they had hiccup in travel and this and that. And then I don't know when teams flew to Florida. I'm guessing Florida went the next day.
Edmonton goes a day later, maybe.
Did Edmonton go yesterday?
Trying to remember what it was.
What I'm getting at is that when we went, we wanted to go the 2 days. Get us away from all of it. I want to be in the room, a hotel with my teammates. I don't want mom and dad and grandma and well, did you get tickets? Are you here? Did you make it safe? How was your travel? I don't know if the team takes care of all that so that the players don't have to think about it. But to your point, Boom, that is a mental drain for the Panthers.
Yeah, because the Panthers are the team that have been traveling the family. Like, Dean, you make a great point. The Oilers families, like, they might be interested in bouncing around, but now it's like the whole crew's coming with them. That's something that Florida's been dealing with for a week plus.
And it's another thing that maybe that's new for the Oilers. Okay, yeah. Hey, make sure you get cigars so we can have a cigar after we win. Yeah. Well, is that what you're supposed to think about, or what are we doing?
It's one game, baby.
Yeah. There's going to be a ton of Oiler people down there.
Yes.
I was reading WestJet chartered 2 planes out of Edmonton just due to demand to get people down there. The secondary ticket market has been, I guess some Panther fans decided maybe they didn't need to go to Game 7, or they could make a big chunk of dough. I think the average flight was $2,300 or something like that out of Edmonton, and the ticket price was about the same. So you got to want it if you want to be there.
Well, and that it was like Game 6 went all the way up to like $2+ grand in Edmonton, and you know, it was lower for Game 7, but now now the Oilers honks have a chance to watch it. That jumps up above $2,000 US a seat. The people that the owners have done very nicely here. The Oilers have been making $1 million a night when they're on the road, just filling up the empty stadium to watch it on the Jumbotron. Like, this is absolutely.
They've been charging people to stand outside. Then they $20 a head to get into the moss pit or whatever it is.
4 block line to get into the moss pit.
Yeah, probably
so you can buy $13 beers and get a
I'm sure they're giving the beer away for free.
Yeah, they're probably really.
Murray, can someone send these financials to Mr. Edwards? I think this is a reminder of where our focus needs to be.
Interesting. Somebody during the game the other night, maybe they had to run out and get something. Slid by Costco while Game 6 was on.
Oh my God, that is amazing! Yes, Dean. Yes,
that is
just Death Valley. No one. There's one person in the Costco on a Friday night or whatever it is.
I remember in 2011 when it was the Canucks and Bruins, and someone had worked at the Vancouver water facility, and they have charts of usage, and you could see the intermissions where all the toilet flushes were, and then it was just nothing the rest of the time.
Yeah. Boston Pizza, free plugs, I guess. Free plugs to a Boston Pizza. They're jumping on board. 30,000 free pizzas.
Wow.
That's their deal. Here was their press release. A Canadian team hasn't won hockey's biggest prize since 1993. Earlier this playoff season, Boston Pizza encouraged Canadians to come together to team up for the win in hopes of ending the 30-year drought. Die-hard hockey buffs, newly minted Oil fans, and Edmonton locals should remain on the lookout for the biggest pizza delivery in history on Parade Day. Local fans also encouraged to make their way down to Boston Pizza's Ice District location for a free pie while supplies last.
I'll forego my free pizza if the Panthers can do some things tonight. I'm okay with that. You guys?
I'm going to buy you pizza.
Thank you,
like
guys.
Boston
I'll buy you
pizza.
one too. We're gonna buy each other pizzas if
We'll have our own
Panthers close
pizza
this up.
party.
That spicy pierogi, it's sneaky good. Sneaky good, that thing.
Yeah, dart guy with a toothpick in his mouth in Vancouver. I'm done with this market.
Is there part of
I
you?
can't believe you even gave them any love.
Is there part of you that wishes you could to have enjoyed this?
Yeah,
There's
for
a
sure.
lot
but
of people who are
as long as it's
really
Edmonton,
having
you
fun.
can't. Like if this was Winnipeg,
I don't know what
sure,
you're talking about.
right? I got no ill will towards Winnipeg.
I'm supposed to be enjoying it. I played in Florida. My kid's favorite team is the Florida
Yeah.
Panthers. It was enjoyable for 3 games, and now the last 2 weeks have been like, shit.
Hey, peak pain is still on the list of possible outcomes.
Peak
for
pain
fans.
with this.
Someone was trying to tell me it wasn't, and I said, "Look, I don't want to tell stories out of school, but I work with a guy that has been to 3 Stanley Cup Finals, and peak pain is not when you lose in the first round or you get swept in the second round. Peak pain is if you lose tonight after erasing a 3-game lead. If you're the Edmonton Oilers and their fan base,
or losing after being up 3 games to none.
That's probably really even more pain. The Oilers don't have that option, so I can't.
Peak pain coming either way.
Yeah, it's true. This will be the biggest hurt we've seen in a while.
The Panthers have the patent on that if they lose this thing tonight. Oof.
Yeah.
2 straight cup finals, 2 straight losses. This one after a 3-0 lead. Oof.
That would be.
Right? Think about that. Like retro, that's 3. Like that's shitty. How about 2 in back-to-back years?
Well, and should have up 3. Like I've never been up.
I don't think losing last year there's any shame in that. Like Vegas just looked like the better team, but this year is not that story. You didn't put the pedal to the metal. You had 4 chances. If you don't win tonight, it would have been 4 swings at the cup. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Come on, Bob.
We need a
Let's go, Bobber.
onboard clip.
Bobber.
Goosh.
What would be
damn.
Yeah.
Diarrhea.
God damn.
Yeah, that's about right. Vina Nova. We've been telling you about it.
Jewelry tonight, Dean. Someone's getting it.
Yeah, there's gonna be. I bet you there'll be those dirty mine diamonds or rubies or whatever they got going in there. Vina Nova, Calgary's lab-grown diamond specialist, the only store in Calgary that specializes exclusively in lab-grown diamonds. Largest selection of loose-grown diamonds. When you walk through the door, you don't need to. Okay, which one's which? It's the lab-grown place in Calgary. Same chemical composition, same crystal structure as an earth mine diamond. You're not going to know the difference. No one's going to know the difference. Even the pros don't know the difference, but you could save massive 50, 70, 80% sometimes off of the price of the dirty mined diamonds. Vinanova.com is the website, or stop by the downtown showroom on the 2nd level of Stephen Avenue Place. Vina Nova. It's all about being grown in the lab. Lab grown, baby. Perfection. It's worked for us.
Tickets here if you wanted to sell your jewelry.
Yeah,
you're gonna have to sell a lot,
especially given that they're like 20% of the cost of a regular diamond. In some instances, you're gonna have to sell a lot. Tickets are sold out now. Check back soon.
Yeah. We'll get to for people who are in right now. Coming up at the end of the show, or I guess to end the show today, Pinder and I sat down with Craig Conroy over the last couple of days. We put the video out over the weekend. If you missed it, we're going to throw it at the end of the show here today. So coming up in whatever, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes from now, our I was going to say one-on-one, our exclusive interview with Flames GM Craig Conroy. So that's coming up. But right now it's the Pinder Report. It's a presentation of Village Honda. Well, how about Village Honda? You know what a demo vehicle is?
Yep.
We've got so there's the Accord and there's the Ridgeline and there's this, the Civic and all that. Well, when people want to go and take one for a rip, you have one set aside here. This is our demo vehicle. So they're treated like gold. They set the
cleaned every time someone uses them. Yeah.
Prop them up on pillows. There's no kilometers on them. No. Well, now they're selling them. It's the Village Honda Demo Clear Out on now. Village ready to sell their 2024 demo models. You could save hundreds, even thousands of dollars on these vehicles. They're like new, extremely low mileage. See them in person or check them out online at villagehonda.com. Village Honda presents
Ryan Pinder.
the Pinder Report.
Well, fellas, it is a huge day for the sport of hockey, as we now get to react to Kevin Ball getting the number 7 for the Calgary Flames this upcoming year.
That.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
TJ Brody, I'm sorry. Get the hell out of here. That's Kevin Dahl was 4, Chris Dahlquist was 5, and Kevin Ball is 7. So, Dean, if I asked you who wears number 7, what would the answer be?
The answer is Ball.
That's right.
Yeah. It's now what if Brody comes back as a free agent? Because isn't he UFA this summer?
He'll have to go 77.
Well, maybe, or just Ball say, you know.
At this point, I don't know who's Teach was.
Yeah.
Oh, how much treads left on that tire? Let's move to some Flames news and notes. Some great stuff up on FlamesNation.ca. Lots regarding our conversations with Jerome Iginla, or with Craig Conroy, excuse me. Lots about TJ Iginla. Lots about, everything going on in Draftland, but 3 Flames forward prospects entering make or break seasons. There's a good read from Mike Gold. That a boy, very keen. And it's SNOOP, you see? Snoop Dogg in Calgary, apparently, because look at all these jerseys. Oh, there he is. The big cat. Jay McNeil looks fired up to be there. Jay, have you blinked in an hour? What's going on with Snoop here? And then look at this. Oh, 2 legends.
Damn right.
Oh, yeah. Snoop looks like he's 10 blunts in. That is awesome.
Well, I saw
he's
one
not
where
doing it anymore.
Is he off?
He quit smoking, he said.
He said,
Yeah, you quit until you're done quitting.
I saw a photo with Brett and some of the other Hart boys, and Snoop's got going about this long going in the got his arms around everybody.
Just a prop.
It's got a Philly blunt. All right. Yeah, there's a hockey game tonight. I guess we'll get around to it. A couple of nobodies that nobody cares about playing tonight. 6:00 our time. On the left, some lottery ball dude. On the right, just a hard-working Finnish kid that wants to be Canadian. Canada's team, the Panthers, will host the Oilers tonight.
Hey, Connor McDavid, you've got one game to win it all.
Scary.
Jeez.
I mean, scary.
I sure hope he doesn't come down with a case of the trots. I mean, that would be terrible.
Yeah. Some caterer in Miami is our last chance.
Yeah.
Whoop, little eye drop. Bing, bing, bing.
Well, Nugent Hopkins apparently didn't skate. He's not feeling well. So there's,
Bob didn't skate yesterday either.
Maybe it's running through the locker room.
Where's Bobby Clark when you need him? I feel like a broken forearm might be the only thing stopping McDavid.
Yeah, if you're going to do it good.
Do it early. Do it good.
Yeah, first shift.
He's going to be off the power play.
Lamborghini.
Lamborghini, it's your time.
Send a message.
Yeah, and Nick Cousins, who was one of those guys, he's out. Okposo's back in tonight.
I would say, anyway, we can discuss.
Let's have a look at 12 names of humans. Those are the forwards, 6 names of humans. Those are the defense, and 1 man in net who needs to be superhuman. U20 dopes. 19, I guess. Back up. I hope you don't need you. Still ours. Settle down. Please. Have the freaking game of your lives tonight. Should you? Could you? Would you? Please. Please. Please.
McDavid is good enough. He can go next year. You guys.
This is your last chance.
Finish it off.
So many years. Okposo.
Kyle.
We all love Kyle.
Okposo. How many articles are written about Kyle Okposo getting the cup after Barkov? This is tough, boys. Finish the job, Kyle. One side's got, sure, the greatest player we'll ever watch in our lives, but the other has a very hungry, almost retired Kyle Okposo. Starving.
Now, wait. Kachuk's brother was here all the time. Is he hanging out down there?
I haven't seen
cool,
him.
Or is he?
That's a divisional rival now. I don't know. We can do that.
Has he enjoyed watching his brother play 10s and 20s playoff games? Never had one. Oh.
Well, we saw big Keith at game 4, and then his empty seats at game 5. Have not seen a whole lot or heard much.
If I'm him, we're doing that game where you kill the keg. It's just one glass after another. I can't watch this shit. Put them away. Let's get to a little bit of hockey news. Sounds like Joseph Woll and the Toronto Maple Leafs are closing in on a deal. Kevin Weeks was at an aquarium filming his large cranium and breaking said news. It sounds like the AAV's in between 3.5 and 4, which is okay, whatever.
Well, at least we got some Leafs news. That's
got to get it in there. More comedic note, the Arizona Coyotes, now they're going to get a team back. They just have to build this stadium. Yeah, they've canceled the sale of land in Phoenix.
Does anyone else love this?
I think this is amazing.
Yes, like it's
Amazing.
And
you can
do you see that they're just going to screw you?
Yeah,
Like, they don't like you.
Gary's the puppet master here. Like all of a sudden, this plot line, like we can't wait to get back to the Valley. Mr. Morello has been a wonderful owner. Once he fulfills his commitment for a new arena, they'll be back. The Coyotes 2.0. Like he knew all along they can't get back into bed with this scumbag. And sure enough, the land isn't even for sale anymore.
Yeah.
And so this is the news breaking. It sounds like they didn't have the right permitting to get this done. Like it was like Rhett running for mayor. He never put his 100 signatures in. He would have won the thing in a landslide. God damn it, Rhett. Are you doing the paperwork for the Coyotes?
No, sir. I know I'm not qualified.
Whoa.
But I love it. And then even their statement, the Coyotes statement, sounded like whining.
And so they're whining about, with this and that, and we were good for the community, blah, blah, blah. And then someone that works with, I guess, someone in the Municipal Land Council tweeted out, like, you idiots. No one wants to do business with you. You screw everyone around, and you didn't even get the right bleeping lawyer to do the paperwork. No way are you getting another team. And Gary doesn't have to deal with this asshat anymore. It's beautiful.
See, I saw that the auction had been canceled.
Paperwork. Dude.
I didn't.
That's how politics works.
Yeah, I think that the paperwork is maybe a bit of a because there was incorrect paperwork. Yeah, no one wants this
asshat
guy.
Yeah, they needed an excuse. They got one. Perfect. And yeah, if you're gonna go, buy a parcel of land and invest billions into it, maybe get the right land lawyer to get it done.
McLeod Law
do it for $50. Yeah, you should have called McLeod. What are you doing?
It's not happening on their watch.
It's not Shane. They'll get you in touch with the right person. This is Phoenix Councilman Jim Waring. They should get a zoning attorney. They don't have one. How on earth do you not lock down the zoning requirements before embarking on a project of this scale? Billions. Yeah, we don't have a zoning attorney.
Maybe if you never really intended to do it in the first place.
Yeah.
If you were just because what did he get from the league in the end? What did they pay
I think they
him?
Probably netted like $500 to $600 million, something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, they would have lost a fair amount along the way, but yeah, he definitely came out in black ink. Serious Richard. Okay, move along. Local sports, let's go. Calgary FC hosting top of the table Atletico on Friday for minor soccer night. Calgary minor soccer. Look at this start.
Not have a goal this
Second
season,
minute, fellas.
nor do his center back partners.
We got a corner kick.
Or Eric Thompson. They're trying to change that today. Up for a go shot.
Warshevsky.
But Tobias Warshevsky unmarked on the doorstep.
Early.
Opens the
That's the good news. The bad news, Atletico would even the score and it would stay that way. It's another tie for the Cavs.
Too many draws.
Too many ties. Maybe go Collar and Blazer. Look at the ties here. 2 wins.
You can't call it a tie. That's
2 wins, 8 draws, and a single loss. Nobody has lost fewer games than Calgary, and yet they are 6th of the 8-team league. God damn.
Hang in there, Tommy.
Yeah.
The boys will break through for you.
Yeah. Just to play away.
Try a little harder, boys.
Stampeders, successful bye week.
Good job.
They will host 0-3 Winnipeg.
Ooh.
Man, the Bombers got old quick. That is this Saturday, 5 p.m. Family Day. Love to see it. That'll be a fun one.
Saturday.
Down at the dump. Early start.
Huh.
Love to see it.
Tickets are
That's Dean's joke. I like when he smiles about that one.
See,
pass it over. Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Just thought it, you don't want to plagiarize.
That's right. Yeah. You don't want to. Yeah.
Just
good on you.
Sources per Dean Boomer Mulberg.
That's right. Yeah.
The dump. Calgary Surge. They've turned things around. They're back to 500. Why? Well, check this out. They're in Dumpsville. People went to something in Edmonton, not just watching the Oilers. Impressive stuff. There's your walk-off for the Surge. 5-5 puts them in a good spot in the standings. They've clawed back to even on the season. Love to see it. Good work, fellas. A lot of road games here. I think they played, 7 of their first 8 at home or something like that. It was crazy. There they are. Stinking Sea Bears.
Gonna get that tattoo.
What's the Vancouver name again, Dean?
I don't remember, actually. What was the Vancouver name?
Oh, Bandits. But I thought you'd try to make it up. You'd say Flying Foxes or something.
Oh, yeah, I don't know.
Edmonton Stingers, Saskatchewan Rattlers, Winnipeg Sea Bears, Stinking
Yeah.
Sea Bears.
The Sea Bombs, the Rattlers. Yeah.
All right, let's get to some serious business.
Yes.
Now, we all enjoy cured meats. And the challenge that this infomercial is reminding us of is, where the heck do I store all these cured meats? So, I don't know if we could soak up. Like, sometimes it's late at night and you're like, must have just been like the right time. I'm just had to call that 1-900 number, give them my credit card, 2 easy installments, blah, blah. This is clearly a problem society needs a solution for. Let's go.
Clear off your counter. You're not going to be able to store it. Now, a bologna folder solves multiple problems. It's going to organize your bologna. It's going to save you more space in the refrigerator and on your shelves, wherever you store your bologna. And since there are 1,900 different types of bologna in the whole world, we got to get a handle on this situation. First, you've got to grease this machine. You're going to want to grease this twice a day. Now, first slice of bologna, perfectly placed. See that circle? If it's bigger than that circle, it ain't bologna. So that's the first thing the machine's doing for you. We have it set to thin. So now we know we can organize the bologna. There's one thin stack. Okay. Here's another slice of bologna. Let's see. Oh, it's tripped up.
That's a thick
Doesn't pass the gauge. That's a thick slice. So now we organize that over here. So the first phase of our bologna folder is organizing the bologna. Now that we have the thin stack, look how gorgeous. Everybody take a second. Drink it in. Oh, isn't bologna so good? Folder. It's been such a pain up until now, though. Now we put it on the folder. Thin slice of bologna. It's folded.
How simple that is.
It's folded.
It's
sort of folded.
Fold. No.
Maybe, you know what? I've got it on the wrong side. Sorry about that. Here we go. Folded. And now you flip it into
complete.
It's just a learning curve. It's just a don't panic. If this happens at home, this is the learning curve that we all go through. See, there it is. Now you can see folded beautifully, and then you take it.
It covers the whole island.
Stack it. It takes a minute. There you go. Yeah. Perfect. Now take your other slice of thin bologna. Put it in the middle. We're going to fold it again. I'm going to show you. Thin slice. Folded. Folded. And we're folded. There we go. Now you take that thin slice and stack it with the other. Now, Mary, what's the point? What is the point, and what kind of colors does it come in? Well, first, let's talk about the colors. So we have it in black and aqua. We have it in tan.
Shitty that is.
Taupe coming soon.
I'm done with that. Now look at this.
Go grab your handy dandy bologna folder.
I don't know who sent that to me or why they sent it to me, but God damn it, I was excited to show you guys that bologna folder.
I was not sure at the start.
Christmas can't come fast enough.
How many easy installments? Just take my goddamn money.
I hope you got room under your tree for it. It's going to take up a lot of real estate.
Start sorting the storage room now, because you're going to need some space for the bologna folder. Some idiot sent his pit bull after a buffalo. How do you think that went?
Jesus Christ, Richard! Oh, fuck.
It's a good JC Richard.
Isn't that what they were made for? Was chasing down bulls?
Friggin' Richard.
They were bred for that. They're buffalo herds.
Come on, Dick.
Come on, Richard.
You can hear the dude yelling at it. Oh,
back up!
Jesus Christ, Richard.
Back. Been working on a new trick. You guys know I love ultimate throwing disc. Frisbee's a brand name, Dean. You know that. I'm not going to fall for that. I've been working on this one for a while. Finally got it on the weekend. Ready? It's windy, perfect angle. Years. Finally perfected it.
Finally accomplished the ultimate goal.
Got it.
Just like the guys after the game tonight, you reached your pinnacle there.
Got it. I can retire now, Dean.
That dude gets so much ass. Babe, you want to see a trick?
Wow. Little twist at the end there. Dogs versus snake. This is sort of Dean's backyard. He adopts everyone's dogs. They just leave them at his front step. But snake in your backyard, Dean, no good. Come on, fellas. You got the pack mentality. Let's go, fellas. Come on now.
Let him know.
That snake's in trouble, Brett.
Yeah, you're in a bad spot, Mr. Snake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyway, glad they got it out of your yard, Dean. That's good. Now, right before he left Buffalo, there's a big pool party at Rob Ray's house, which we love to see. And I think the Shoveler and Mrs. Ray, they're all taking turns doing big pool tricks with this surfboard. Check it out. You okay, Rhett? Right through Ray's window. That's tough, eh? Finally, some people really want to get on the Pinder Report. It's not easy. If you're willing to sacrifice, you can make it too. Here is a man with a boombox and some song about balls.
Oh! That is the band Accept. The ballroom's always bouncing. The ballroom's always full, Ryan.
I always thought it was AC/DC.
Yeah, it does sound like AC/DC. It's got some vibes there. Just that one little riff. Now, again, if people aren't from the Calgary area, that is indeed the feeling if the Oilers could come back from 3-0 and win the Stanley Cup tonight. So we'll close that with that on this Monday edition of the Pinder Report for Village Honda. Get your baloney folders.
He's got the biggest balls of them all. You got your balls to the wall, man. Which one is? Am I wrong about that, Retro?
Yeah, big balls. Does sound like AC/DC.
That is AC/DC. It was you got your balls to the wall. I think was a band Accept. Not enough balls out there, you know.
No, there should be more.
Flames traded for one.
Yeah, the answer is ball.
The answer is ball. Save the date, Village Honda, August 24th, the 4th annual Honda and Acura Show and Shine. This event gets bigger and better every year. Awards for Best in Show, Best in Modified, Best Classic, and new for this year, the People's Choice Award. You can register now online, villagehonda.com.
So
there you go.
This is a great topic for down the road.
Baloney folders?
And easy probably for us to figure out. But, you know, when Sam Bennett was here, Benny, terrible nickname, right? Like we're
eggs.
The old wide cat or wide dog.
Yeah. Schlem cat, wide dog.
Schlem cat, that's right. Sorry.
Yeah.
The point I'm getting at is that we've created a lot of beautiful nicknames.
That's right.
And we got a new player.
Yeah.
Last name Ball. There's a lot to work with. So come the off season here,
a lot of pressure, Dean.
In July, I think we're gonna have to spend some time figuring this out.
I feel like this is a full week workshop we're gonna have to do.
Remember from the old stuff, the old show, when there was COVID, there was kind of some.
We could do a bracket for
yes,
sure.
that's
name bracket. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
The Kevin Ball nickname bracket.
Yeah.
We could probably try
Utah HC is currently leading.
What do we need? 32? Is
Right.
that what we need? Feels like a lot, but if there's a show that's up for it, it'd be ours.
I think we can do it.
Yeah, I think we could do it.
Probably could do it.
Not easy, but we're up to it.
We probably could do it. Now Mark Savard landed with the Leafs. So
that's a huge stunner.
Yeah, finally
Shut the front door.
I don't know. We were talking about that last week. I said, well, what happened if I thought he was going to Toronto? If he left, is he leaving, or is he whatever?
They might have just been busy with some other stuff, eh?
Yeah. Congrats to Mark Savard. Also, what happens?
Hey, wait, can I just step in there for a second?
Yeah.
We've had all these players leave, and the team had to make bold moves to say, "No, guys want to stay here." And
they will stay. Look at this Huberdeau extension.
Yeah. Is this another kick in the
ball
for the Flames? Now the staff is just quitting and going other places.
I don't know that the Flames are distraught. The power play wasn't exactly the great shining light for the organization this year.
All right. Just wondered.
And to be fair, Mark Savard might have a few more weapons in Toronto.
He could walk in, not
Matthews,
do any, walk
Nylander,
in, not do
Riley.
anything, and his power play percentage is going to jump by 20.
They could trade Marner, and he's still got four better
So
guys.
you're saying the Flames don't have a 70 goal guy?
Mm,
17. We got to
yeah, you
say
say 17?
17. God, hell of a year. I'm not sure if you'll ever get back to those numbers, but 17 is quite a year. Summertime, it is the time to enjoy, again, beautiful weather. We had a wonderful weekend here in the city.
Didn't we? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Out, maybe you were out for a bike, maybe for a hike.
I can see you got some sun.
Or maybe some beach volleyball.
Yeah.
Tarps off. Did you see Ovi was playing a little beach volleyball on the weekend?
Yeah, that's my guy. Yes. Nobody scores goals ever like that man.
I shoot buck.
He's got
Shoot buck hard.
that's my that's my body. That's my upper body. Ovi,
Dean, you could score 70.
clean it up, dude. Gray hair,
Depth of the belly
barrel.
Yeah, you could smuggle a lot in that belly button.
You can put a lot of bologna in that belly button.
Just a little bologna, put some hair on top.
Yeah.
All kinds of stuff underneath.
But hey, it's June, right? When
Lots
does the
of time,
season
dude.
start?
October.
Hey, listen, there's a new Ozempic. He get on Ozempic a couple of months from now.
Is that how it works?
Yes.
Oh, if he just get that record and become the fattest gold chain.
Actually, you're right.
wearing
Get
guy
the record,
ever.
and
Go
as soon
get it.
as you score that goal,
Just
rip
blow
your
up.
jersey off.
That's
and
right.
And you think I'm fat now? Check this out in a year.
His coach is
3 bills.
Holy F, I got to keep playing this guy.
All right. Well, X-Lax milkshakes for the next few weeks, I guess.
Just full fast. Don't eat
Yeah.
for 2 weeks.
Now we did we kind of trotted out Betway at the start. Did you want to do
some
Betway?
bets. Yeah,
You want to do some bets?
I do. Do you?
Because we can, if you'd like. With Betway, you get a free bet up to $200 if your first bet loses. Create a new account, scan the QR code on the screen, redeem your bonus, place a bet. There is no minimum amount required for this. And if the bet loses, you'll get a refund of up to $200. You can then use that money to bet on your favorite sports. This offer is only available outside of Ontario. Game 7 tonight, Ryan. I'm assuming some baseball.
Boys, Rat King needs to get going here. Good game 5. You're at home. You've blown the start, the last 3, 2-0, 3-0, 3-0. Panthers score first tonight. Let's get her going as public enemy number 1 up in the cultural capital. We'll get on the board first. Kachuk plus 1,000 for the first goal. And if you think game 7's dramatic, and you think game 7 after a blown 3-0 lead is dramatic, and you think trying to win 4 in a row to win a cup, be the first team since the 40s to come back and do it, a 3-0 hole is dramatic, let's put this thing into OT at plus 320.
There you have it.
Has there ever been a game 7 OT in the final? Someone told me that the other day, and I couldn't believe it. They said there hasn't been one.
There's only been
Man.
Yeah,
so
I don't
many.
think there has been.
I would think there'd been at least one, but God, I'll research right now.
It would have been talked about. I
Only
guarantee
2
you.
cup finals have gone to a game in a game 7 have gone to overtime, both won by Detroit in the 1950s.
There you go. Jack wasn't born yet. The rest of us clearly remember those.
Yeah.
Detroit.
Yeah, old Bert Whisker Biscuit was great back in those days for the Red Wings. Love that guy. This coming
Oscar
in,
McKnight.
yeah, this one coming in from Ryan Pike. I was told to ask if I need to bring a Hawaiian shirt to Vegas. Well,
Well, you're gonna be there Friday, Ryan, or no?
working Friday is the question.
Because round 1's Friday.
Stands to reason. I would say yes. Which good time to mention that our barn burner are going to be live from Vegas. Our draft coverage begins on Wednesday. As you mentioned, round 1 is Friday. But the Nation Network, it's all hands on deck, and certainly with the Flames having a couple picks, big focus. The focus is going to get this cup final, and the team's still playing, like whatever.
Get them out of here.
What about the teams that got some high first round picks? That's what people really care about.
It's true, Dean.
That focus begins as early as tomorrow, or at least on Wednesday. What is the? Do you know what your situation is for the Vegas trip?
We will be broadcasting from Circus Swim, the sports book in Old Vegas, the old strip.
Great hotel.
Wednesday and Thursday afternoon, I believe 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Show should be just over an hour. We'll have Frank join us one of the days, all kinds of other NHL insiders and draft gurus, I'm sure, as well. And then Friday, Radio Row for the draft. Full first round coverage.
I don't know what that means. It's kind of like Nashville Music Row, where you just
No, it's a lot of people in
There's
suits that are boring.
oh,
Yeah, it's kind of like a bleacher kind of thing that's set
kind
up.
of a stock
tables.
answer.
A lot of computers,
Yeah,
charging stations.
Mhm.
yeah.
RJ and I RJ's on the road tonight. I leave tomorrow, and the action starts Wednesday. RJ is like producer of
Got to get
all
there
things
early,
Nation
RJ, to scout things out.
Network. Set up equipment.
Sick bastard.
Really?
Tell people about his
perv.
cats. God damn it.
What's he doing? He's producing everything.
He'll be
Is that
producing.
what you're saying?
Daily Face Off is broadcasting from the Cosmo, and all the other Nation shows will be with this guy, poolside at Circus Swim, which is the sports book with the pools outside with the bikinis and
It is
44 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch a white man sweat,
We were there for the All-Star, the awards, right, Dean, in Vegas? It was so
Oh, was
hot the phones shut off.
the phones,
Mhm.
phones.
Yeah,
Your
it was-
phone is overheating.
I would use blistering,
Mhm.
blisteringly hot. Where yes, if your cell phone was out, if you were having a drink or something, and your cell phone was on a tabletop,
Can't do it.
or
Yeah.
no,
You got to hide it in a towel, mid layer.
I'm too hot, you bastard.
So they
So should you be.
run a show. Will be 10 a.m. Daily Face Off from Cosmo, 11 a.m. Morning Cup of Hockey from the Cosmo, and then Leafs Morning Take will go from Stadium Swim at noon our time, 1 o'clock Oilers Nation every day, 2, it is us, Barn Burner.
Save the best for last.
Yeah. And the Jason Greger show will also roll at the same time as us from a different location. I wonder who will get the air conditioning indoors versus the 44-degree outdoors.
Yeah, I was going to ask, where's Gregor going from? Because the Cosmo, I don't know if you've ever been, really nice.
It is really nice, and I have been. Yeah, he's also at the Stadium Swim location 2.
There you go.
Location
I'll
2
say
will have
this.
air conditioning. Location 1, I will just be
RJ's
sweating.
right. RJ's right there. Why the hell, if he's going early, why doesn't he?
He's got to set up all the studios.
You know who you cater to, you right? Not a boy, RJ.
Yeah, I'll say this.
Set up a bunch of mirrors around Gregor's outdoor set and put us inside. Let's go. Cook an egg on his forehead for one of those shows.
All the other companies are telling you we can't send people on the road. We can't cover that for you.
Yeah, they've been saying for years that. Yeah.
How about Nation Network? How about Flames Nation? How about everybody taking care of the fans?
I mean, if you don't
how
want
about
to be at the draft to see with them pick 9 and 28, but they're going to trade up from 28, right, Red?
Oh, no, they're going to get that defenseman from the U.S. national team.
Ooh, you
Emery.
like that EJ.
Well,
Okay.
Interesting. Good to know.
TJ
Good to know.
Nine.
So yes, our draft coverage
I don't think
and
we
across
can.
whatever you're a fan, if you're a Leaf fan or an Oiler fan or Flames fan, your Nation Network
brand.
is going to be down there. So Alberta and Rose Hill and you.
Rose Hill, I think, is staying in Alberta,
Oh, I was
Okay.
going to say.
but I believe Big Save Nick will be down there.
Yeah. Nick Alberga. He's been traveling too, doing work for the NHL network. He's been in Edmonton doing stuff, I saw.
I honestly thought he was a hitman killing people.
346.
but working on the podcast too. That's what an alibi.
There you go. So now what is our tomorrow show? What is it? Do we know what
Well, there's a couple
plan?
options. I think we could definitely come in and talk about a big Panthers win, or we could just say, see you Wednesday.
if we don't do a show tomorrow
Wouldn't that be beautiful?
and the Oilers win?
Wouldn't it?
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Yeah,
Barn
geez,
Burner, unable to come to you.
construction. Beverly Hills 2.0.
Yeah.
You see a Wednesday from Vegas.
Yeah. Well, I guess
There's enough bloody Oiler shows on the network. They got 28 shows. Like, if you're looking for Oiler content tomorrow, you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Don't need to do a show, Dean. Have a day.
We to wrap things here on a Monday. A couple days ago, we had a chance. Craig Conroy joined Ryan and I in studio. Busy guy, a lot of meetings, meetings galore. But he managed to carve out a solid 30-40 minutes for us as he came in studio. Talk about the trading of a goaltender, the upcoming draft. What else did we get into there?
Took
You know
a
what's
run at red at
interesting?
the end there. Yeah.
Yeah, I did take a run at red. Is we kind of get into, so what are you looking for? You're picking at 9. Is there anything position specific? Are you taking best player available? Maybe a little tidbit in there that might interest you. I think the whole thing is, I think it's all very good.
People liked it.
And it's up to you to pick out what parts are your favorite. But
And then
we'll do
whether you
that
liked it or
now
not,
to wrap.
it was
Yeah,
5 stars. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, we'll do that now to wrap the show here on your Monday. Craig Conroy. May 23rd, 2023. Does it feel like it's been over a year? And I don't know that there's any data to back it up, but I can't imagine any GM in their rookie year has done more than you have. I mean, out for debate as to, we'll see how the trades work out, but between signings and trades, and it's been a wild year for you.
It's been stressful for sure. Lots of sleepless nights, lots of, trying to, like we're always trying to get better and make the team better and try to, whether it's hiring on the staff side, doing contracts. And that's the other thing. People, they see the hockey part, but everybody's contracts was up last year. So I have to get everybody done, get back. So it's been, it's amazing. It's only been 1 year. It feels like about 10.
He's doing okay because normally, like the Barack Obama thing, like he aged like a decade in 1 year. You're still looking.
I'm aging. The hair's almost gone.
We won't have the overhead cam. And the thing of these deals is, and we'll see how they pan out, because already the Toffoli one looks like a win. Is it's tough when you are always trading away the best player in the deal, right? You're taking assets, you're taking unknowns. They may all be like slam dunks in 5 years, 10 years from now. But right now you're kind of on the S end of the stick, if you will, when people are grading these things.
Yeah. I pretty much lose every trade and everybody's right from the Sharangovich. That was the first one. And I remember, I'm human. I said, I'll just take a peek, see what, I looked at the first one. Rookie GM gets schooled by New Jersey. I was like, and I saw he got an A+ and I got an F. I just said, I won't look anymore. Yeah. It's not good for the ego.
Well, the internet,
got the receipts. Hey, look at this.
The internet's pretty level-headed.
Yeah, I was like, that's not good.
Yeah. Difficult spot too, because you're making these trades. You want to win these trades, but you're trading away good players. You're trading away good people too. It's hard watching what's left. I would think the emotion in the locker room as all-star, good player, all-star, as these guys leave the room, to kind of keep morale up. And we're building towards something here, as hard as it is for guys to take right now.
Yeah. And that's the thing, but I do think even when the season started last year, we're going to see how we're going to get off to the start. And it was not great. Obviously we were 2-9 and things weren't looking good, but then Zari came up, Pospisil came up, and then we started bringing these young guys up and we got to a point where we're back to 500. We're, hey, we're going to have some growing pains with young guys, but to see what those guys did, I think it gave everybody hope. And it brought a guy like Kadri right back to play with those two guys. I mean, if he would have got to play with them all year, who knows where his point totals would have kind of went. And then, but you're right. You're losing really good people and great players. And, and unfortunately that's the hard part of the business, but that's what we had to do. We had kind of contract lengths and what we would pay and what made sense to us. And, when they want you to budge, they don't want you to budge a little bit. They want you to budge a lot. And I think we just had a plan, and it's hard to be, we always talk about being disciplined with contracts. We want to do contracts that we feel are fair, but we don't want to set, especially for myself, a rookie GM. I talked to Brian Burke a lot about it. You don't want to set a market for players being a young GM. Sure. Someone else sets the market, that's okay. But you're, and I always, in the back of my mind, I've always thought about that. And to have Don there and Dave Nonis and Brad Pascal, on our whole staff, they keep me in check because I'm impulsive at times and I want to do things maybe a little quicker, but you have to be patient. You have to work through it, but the contracts are the tough part.
Yeah. Did you get, cause I know we were kind of in touch because the Tanev one goes down. That was a busy time. Did you get offer of a first for Tanev? Cause remember that was going around and it's like, it's one thing to have a hard offer. It's another thing. Oh, maybe do it for what was the story there?
That's pretty much the way it was.
Yeah.
Might do it. But you talk for a couple months and it's hold off for another weekend, hold off for another, give me a few more days, and I said, hey, I'm going to go in a different direction. And is the first in play? Well, give me another 2-3 days. And I just thought, it's just been too long, and I do think teams, when you look back, maybe if I waited right till the end, but again, it's a tough one, and maybe not.
He's going down the tunnel every second period. I swear.
Yeah,
that's the one guy.
I was anxious. That one guy.
What I, and then when we felt like, okay, we got to, Greshnikov is a good young player, similar to, 20 years old and a second round pick. And we thought, okay, we would have, would you have loved a first? Yeah, we all, everybody asks for a first in every deal. I think that's the way it must be in the GM handbook, ask for the first, and then wait as long as you can and see if you can get it. And, the one thing about that, there was kind of the trade deadline's coming. And again, with the injuries, you just never know, with Chris, he's a warrior, but we thought that was the right time for us.
He was a good fit in Dallas. That was a good trade.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're trading away UFAs and they're going to playoff bound teams and only one team wins it. And I'm not sure how many of the guys you traded away are Stanley Cup champion. I don't think any, actually. As it turned out. Anyway,
it's so hard.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. We can jump right to the Markstrom thing. That's fresh in most people's mind. Again, another tough one to get done because he's your MVP, more or less. Months in the making, but yet came together quick. I guess, how did this come together? How close was this to the rumored deal that was kicking around at the deadline?
I think the one thing, I never went to Markstrom and said, will you sign off on a trade? There was never a trade done, and that's where people there are rumors out there, but there was never a deal where I went to him and said, okay, will you sign off on it? It didn't get to that point. So, it got to that point a couple of days ago, and that's when I did it. But it's hard because we're in a Canadian market. Everything seems like it's out there. Whether I will say, like, when I hear a lot of the trades that are out there, I would definitely do those trades. Like, once I hear them in my mind, I'm like,
this guy and a first, and that guy too, and then another pick.
I would love to do that. But when you talk to the teams, and just like anything, you go to all the teams at the end of the year and, hey, what are you looking for? What are you looking to do on the draft? Are you willing to move it all up or down? And, you're kind of get a lay of the land, what might be coming. Are you looking for anything on your team? So I kind of knew which teams were had interest in goalies, and you work through there and you try to figure out, okay, what's the best deal? What's the right time? And I do think there's more goalies on the market now than there was at the trade deadline. And as we were moving through, especially with New Jersey, they called and said, hey, we need to go one way or the other, Craig. Like, we like your goalie. We'd like to do a deal, but again, we have to do it sooner than later. So, and then that's when it really picked up, and then we came to an agreement, and then I said, okay, now I got to get a hold of Pat Morris, and then to get a hold of Markey to get signed off on.
Would it be fair to say that they were the only serious bidder? Like, there's obviously teams that have needs, but did you get as far down the line or even close with any other clubs?
It felt like it was moving in a direction with all the teams where there were similar offers. They were similar type deals. Mm-hmm. There wasn't, much difference in kind of where we were generally laid out on each one. And we just felt like this is one that, with Kevin, he's a player that we really liked. Like, and I get where people would say, geez, what do they like about him? He's a big man that can play well defensively. And he's gotten better each year.
You had to play a ton last year with their injuries. Right?
Yeah. And you got to see where Zadorov was when he was at 23 and where he was, and we do all the analytics and, you look at guys around the league that if you were, you're hoping he gets to at one point that the analytics numbers and what our scouts say about him would be like a Chernak in Tampa, a guy like Samuelson in Buffalo, or a guy like Nick Hague. Those are similar type players. Mm-hmm. You try to compare players who would be, you're hoping where he's going to be at some point. That's kind of, the player he is, but those are very important players in each of those teams. And that's why, not everyone's going to get all the points but to kill the penalties, to use his size. And, we've heard great thing character-wise, the type of person he is, talking to coaches, talking to people in Ottawa when he was there, what he's all about and his work ethic, so that's exciting.
Yeah. So it's safe to say he's a guy that will start this year in the NHL. He's played 82 last year with the Devils. You don't want to put a ceiling on a guy or you limit him, but do you feel like it's a natural for him to become a top 4 defenseman, or is everything going to have to hit for him to sort of get to a second pair guy?
Yeah, I think the progression of where he was, coming in, playing pro, he's gone in the right direction. The one thing I like to hear when his work ethic, where he was physically, how he trains now, how his diet is, you talk to people that know him like that, and he's really learning how to do all that. And it takes time, not everybody's at the same pace, but I think, when he's at his best, he's a simple puck mover. He plays hard. He's not a fighter. Like, I don't expect that. That's really not in there, but he'll stick up for teammates. He'll be there for everybody. And penalty
That's not really in the game now anyway, right?
No.
We talk about
he's a specialist, right?
Right. Be big, be physical, move well. That's what today's game is.
But if Pospisil does what Pospisil, you just want guys to get in there and help each other. And that's and he will do that, and he will play hard, and he's hard to beat, good one-on-one, good size, good stick. So, but still growing and learning how his game translates. And that's what we always say, even with Noah Hannafin, when he came, he wasn't a finished product, because we always say 25, 26, 27 is when they really, on the defensive side, really figure it out. So, and I think you saw that with Hannafin. He had an amazing year this year.
Yeah.
One person I saw that I think loves this trade is Dustin Wolf. Like, he's a big fan. He thinks you did great.
Vladar's probably, he's saying the same thing.
He's got the same thing. Yeah. You never want to, it's here you go. It's on a silver platter, but it's clear it's Wolf's time. He's earned it. He's been patient. I think he's probably been a good pro. Is that fair to say? There'd been a lot of guys, this is my year. I'm going to get some NHL games. And it just maybe took a little bit longer for him, maybe in his eyes, than it would have taken, but he's still young. Is it fair to say this is his team now, or don't go quite that far?
Well, it's, for me, it's the competition.
Yeah.
Vladdy, him, somebody's got to take the job, and earn it. And it starts right in training camp, and do I think they're working that much harder? Yeah, they are excited.
Yeah.
They're thinking this is a great opportunity, and that's what people want. It's just like with Pospisil and Zari. And, I think at the opening press conference, we talked about giving young players opportunity. And, I think we had 8 young players come into and play up for the Flames this year. So, that was part of the plan going in. And now, we need someone to rise. And, do we know exactly where these guys are as NHL goalies, as starters? No, but that's part of the learning curve.
He's done his job, right?
Yeah,
at every level to this point, he's
totally,
he's earned the opportunity.
He's
right?
earned
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he has, and you can't ask, goal of the year.
Yeah.
It just.
So Vladar's health, is that a question for the start of the year? Will that have you maybe shopping in a veteran goalie market?
Well, the reason we kind of did it when we did, because he was supposed to be back ready to go for training camp. That was the goal. That's why when we kind of said, okay, we're going to shut you down, we're going to get the surgery, and then you should be back ready to go in September. Everything's on pace. You're always a little nervous. It is surgery. You do, he hasn't gotten back to on the ice, getting in all those situations. So, there might be something where we need to think about, now that it's happened and Marky's moved, is there someone else we bring in to help supplement this? Because we don't know. I wish I could say you 100% he's ready to go, but
till he's on the ice.
If I called him, he's, I'm good. Don't worry about it, Craig.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're hoping he's gonna be ready to go come training camp.
We've seen organizations, you need 3. Like most teams will have, okay, we lost a guy, like whether it's the Lions and Stalock, or even Calvin Pickard, what he's done in Edmonton. Like, if you can find a vet that's, is a tweener of sorts, that seems to be, it used to be 70 starts for your ace, and now it's splitting, but now you almost need a third guy that can play.
Well, you really do. And with injuries, with anything that happens, you look at the teams, even Toronto you almost need to have that in your organization. So, to lose Markstrom, obviously your starter, we need to kind of supplement and figure out who's the right fit. And that's, that's what I said. I wish I was a goalie guy, but that's where Jordan Sigalet, he puts the time in, he works. And I said, what is the best for a goalie's development? You tell me, Jordan, because that's why I'm just not sure. Forwards, defense are a little bit different, but a goalie,
it's a different sport.
It is. It's hard. And I know it's such a mental thing, and you don't want to put him in a situation where it sets him back at all.
And he'll tell you, right? Because you can have we want him to play 40 games, 50, 60. His performance is going to tell you what he's ready for and what he isn't. But ultimately comes down to it.
Exactly. The players always say, well, how do I make the NHL? I remember Matthew, we were in Penticton. How did Monahan make the NHL that quickly? I said, he played so well, we couldn't send him back.
Forced his hand. Yeah. Berkey, I think it said publicly, you can't make this team he's going to have to completely change our minds.
Yeah. And then he had the 9 goals right away. And Berkey's like, he's staying and he earned it. And that's what it is. It's really about guys earning the spot.
So Friday the 28th, you have 2 picks in the first round. You've got 8 picks in the first 4 rounds. You've talked about trying to remain competitive, but you've also talked about how this team's going to turn around by your work through the draft. You had 1 pick last year, but this feels like the beginning of a bumper run. You've got 7 first rounders the next 3 years. 1 will go to Montreal for the Monahan deal, but 6 in the next 3 years. Tell me about, is it pressure? Is it excitement? This is not an exact science going to the draft and finding stars, but if you're good at it, man, it changes everything.
It's an opportunity. It's exciting, actually. It really is exciting. And I think, I've watched again, I think that's how we're going to build this, through the draft, not through free agency. Trades and probably the draft are the 2 ways we think we're going to kind of move this thing forward. But to know, to see all these kids, and I didn't think it was going to be a real deep draft when it started this year. I thought, it's going to be an okay, but it's amazing how many guys have emerged and come on. And I'm thinking, this is better than I thought. Yeah. So, to be at 9 in a very good spot. And the other thing is, I think there's opportunity this year, where last year, you call anybody looking to move up or down, or it was pretty much, we're
nothing moved since winter of those picks. No, everything stayed put, which is incredibly crazy.
So I do feel this year isn't that way.
Yeah.
Because I do feel when you look at who's going to go number 1, after that, everyone's got their own opinions and players and who they like.
And there's some teams in there. Sorry, Craig. There's some teams that they've been picking high for a while. They've got a full cupboard of prospects. They don't necessarily need another first rounder that might be ready in a few years. A body that can step in now might be more attractive.
Absolutely. And that's what I said. That's when I made the calls last year. It was pretty much, we're good. We're going to sit tight. And this year, no, we're open to it. What are you guys thinking? So there is that dialogue going on right now. So it'll be interesting. I don't know how it's going to play out, but I do know, talking to Todd, I was just with him in Florida at Dan Milstein's camp, and it was, it's exciting. I mean, I think we're really excited. Last year there was more nerves just getting the job, getting in, and then the Toffoli stuff and kind of what was going on behind the scenes with all the players. It seemed like we were in the news every day. So this year it feels like now we can really go and enjoy this draft, and to have 8 picks in the first 4 rounds, pretty exciting for the organization.
So if you're sitting at 9, how many guys are you no chance he gets to us? 3 or 4? It just feels like this volatility is crazy.
Yeah, because, we said, could he? Well, maybe, I asked Todd, usually I'd say, Todd, can this guy? No, he will not be there. Can this guy? No, he will not be there. This year, I don't know, because if it's a run on D early, if forwards keep going early, do you want a defensive, more of a solid all around 2-way guy, or do you want an offensive guy, or, there's lots of different types of players. So, like you said, teams have been drafting a lot. What are their needs? Maybe they say, okay, we feel comfortable going in this direction or that direction, and that's why they might move down. There might be trades for players. It's going to be a fun draft. I know it's going to be in Vegas. So there's going to be it seems like there's going to be a lot of action.
You're in best player available mode. That's probably safe to say. You're not specifically focused on a defenseman over a forward,
center over winger.
Yeah. Is there anything?
I would like being a center. Always want centers.
Yeah, I suppose.
That's the only
way you get them.
Yeah. that center would be ideal. But again, if you felt a defenseman was better than a center or a wing was the best player available, and that's why we get the order. And I still think Todd and I we talked about it. Like, it's still going to be fun at the draft because I still think we've tightened up the list.
Have those battles started in the boardroom yet?
They're more aggressive right towards the end. I will say, the guys are heated, banging the
So
table.
this guy's there. Yeah.
A couple people breaking computers, slamming it. No, my guy can't move down one.
Yeah.
So if you're like, you've got a list, obviously the list will have to be done by then.
Yeah.
There might be a tweak here or there, like, geez, should we put these guys in the same box or do we separate them? Like, is that kind of the final layer of getting ready for the draft?
It is. I mean, it's in order. And then when we get moving along, and a big thing is, like, if you have a guy that's higher, is there a chance to move up? Okay. Make that call. See if we can get up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
What the price is. Maybe the one thing I like is to have the amount of picks we have. I think that's a good thing too.
Get some flexibility.
When you feel like, okay, this is the area we might get the first pick. And then this is the group that we could get in that second. Is there an opportunity to move up a little higher from that second pick? I think there might be. Yeah. So, which gives us lots of leeway to go either way. And again, I know I had a lot of calls on the draft floor and none of them worked out, but I think this year could be different.
It feels totally different. Usually it's like, the draft will start at 5. It feels like the draft starts at 2 this year. I don't ever remember hearing that, where it's like there's that little consensus.
Yeah, it is. And it's going to be, and that's why I don't think people mind moving back. They're saying, okay,
still get your guy.
I might get the guy I want.
Yeah. And I feel like because of that, there's going to be, maybe it's only one team, but there's going to be someone that looks really smart in about 8-9 years, and someone that really doesn't look like they knew where they were doing.
Well, and that's the thing. You can make a mistake.
Yeah.
You can make a mistake, and that's but we feel, if we didn't do anything, we feel very good with who might be. Again, and it's a big range because at 9, it could go anyway.
Jerome's got a role in the club, and his kid had an absolutely monster year, from like healthy scratch in the playoffs a year ago to setting Rockets records for goals in a series, nearly 50 in the season. I don't know that there's any sane hockey dads, but I do think Jerome's a very sane human. Have you guys agreed to not talk about Teach? He leaves the room. Like, what's the arrangement there? Or is it just like, no, it's business is business, and pretend his name's Smith? Or can a dad do that?
When we were over in Finland, let's put it this way. He watched all the games with us. Once the Canadian games start, gone. I don't know where he was. Yeah.
And that's professional.
Yeah. He's a dad. He has nerves during the game. I mean,
what are his plans for draft night? Is he at the table? Is he with
No,
Tish?
I told him, no, I said, you have to be with Tish. Like,
until he's
and
gone.
then day 2, he can.
Because I think there's things that the families do after they get drafted. There's stuff that goes on. I don't know what that is. Peter Hanlon would be able to tell you better, but I think they're pretty busy doing things, and the families are there. And, so you only get so many chances to do that. So I think, because Jerome's like, do you want me to come down? You want me to start it? I'm like, no, you have to be with your son.
There's one way to fix this, Craig. I mean, I don't want to say it out loud. If y'all want to be in the same spot, you can meet on the podium.
It's
that'd be the first time ever the kid and the dad walk down from the seats, go to the podium.
From the Flames and from the family.
That would be, it'd be weird, wouldn't it? A story though.
Is he a center?
He's been a wing as a young player. I've seen him play center,
Sounds like he started 3-4 games at the beginning of the year, and that was it.
Yeah. And look what he did at wing. So, I mean, I think it's hard to say, I think he probably would. I think I've heard him say he'd like to be a center.
Yeah.
But again, you want to be a center, that's what, when I was in St. Louis, Joel Quinville said, you can either be the third line checking center or you can go play in the minors and be in the front. I'm like, I'm good with the checking center. I'll stay here.
That's right.
So it's kind of, there's an opportunity to play wing. Perfect. If center,
It kind of sounds like Honzek too last year, right? Because there was hope that he could play center, but then the injuries this year just kind of derailed everything.
Yeah, that was a year. I talked to him in the year. I said, this is just one where, hey, we're going to put it behind it. We're not even going to talk about it. We're going to have a great summer training, come back healthy. Let's go. Don't even overthink it. Don't lose sleep over it. It is what it is. Injuries happen.
When do you make your decision on him playing for the Wranglers or going back to junior? Or have you made it? Or do you want to see him in dev cap first? I mean, how does that process work?
Yeah, probably going to, we want to see him. You want to see him at thing. I mean, just the way he plays, probably the American League is the
Pro
way to
body.
go, but I don't want to, pigeonhole that either, so we're open to kind of wait and see how it goes. But he's, he's going to have a big summer. And one thing I like, him and Pospisil are training over at home together, and Pospisil I think he finished third in camp last year in testing, was in great shape. So, I think him working out with him over there, they're going to push each other, which is great because he is a great athlete. Hanzik, he moves well for a big man.
Yeah. We got you for a few minutes. It's busy. Oliver Shillington, is there any update there?
Yeah. I mean, we're talking to the agent, it's never as quick as we'd like or as fast, but I did talk to Oliver the other day too. I think, last week, maybe Thursday or Friday. And he's in good spirits. He's excited. He's looking forward to getting back playing. Wishes the season hadn't ended. So, it's just the process of going through the contract. It's never as easy as we would like.
So it's not a fear of losing Oliver so much as finding the right terms for both sides.
Exactly. That's the big thing. Just like we talked before, like things have to make sense for our side and his side.
Yeah.
July 1, you have a ton of money to spend, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to spend it. I know, having you watch the GM, there haven't been a lot of years where you've had room under the cap. That's maybe a tool in your toolkit that the other GMs haven't had, that we can do things with cap space.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, I think the ability to do it, but again, we have to be smart. I mean, we have to know where we are. I don't feel, like when I told, I think Frank Seravalli after at the GM meetings, like, we're going to look to do something. I guess I should have been more clear and said, I don't think 7-year deals for the Calgary Flames make sense right now, but, shorter term deals at the dollars, we have some more money, guys that we think can come and help build the culture. And it's all about building the culture for the young guys. Again, we have young players and we're going to see the young players get a chance. It's just, you want to make sure they are ready for that chance, and you don't want it to hurt them in the long run. I know they all want to be there today. So I totally get that. It's just a matter of getting them in, when Zari was ready, when Pospisil was ready, you just don't want to force them in and have it go the wrong way. So I do think there's going to be some opportunity. And, I do think with the cap going up, you can also kind of weaponize that money too. Maybe not now, maybe later.
When teams are tight.
Because I know the drafts, the cap's going up, but there's still going to be some tight teams out there that need some relief. And if we're there to, add some more draft capital or get a player that we like, that's important to us too.
So July 1's free agency, but it's also a chance where you can extend players that are heading into UFA summers, and obviously a lot of tension on Kuzmenko with obviously coming back in the deal and the great pace. I think he scored at about a 40-goal pace since arriving in Calgary. And then Sharon Govich, who we talked about, what a theft of the Devils that is. No more F grades on that trade, Greg.
Thanks.
Can you flirt now? Do you chat? Do you line up meetings? How do you approach an extension conversation with these players?
You kind of had, you have ideas like, hey, were you happy? How's everything going? We'd like to talk, but again, with all the rules, we can't do it until the 1st. So, definitely we have ideas what we want to do moving forward with these guys. So, which is good. And you know what? I think they like being here. So that's a positive too. They're excited about Calgary and they, I think Sharon Govich might not have said it quite the way, but he really enjoyed his time in Calgary. I think it was a language thing. People were all fired up.
How is your Russian?
I can't. I should learn a little more Russian than I am, but it's amazing to see those guys come over. Even the kids that we just interviewed to think, imagine going to Russia and speaking Russian and to teams. It's amazing what they do.
Yeah. And because I did want to ask you about those shorter term deals, because you're not as focused on getting the money under the cap. There's an opportunity for you to have some veteran guys, some good players on a shorter term deal, and for them. And it's not like they're using you as a stepping stone, but if they want to come in and play a bunch of minutes and have a key role and be a key leader, not a lot of teams maybe have that for them. You could be in a unique spot for July.
Yeah, you've seen teams do it, and it's smart. I mean, they bring them in, and it's not to say they're only going to be there for 1 or 2 years. Like, maybe it works out and it's a home run for both sides and you can do it. But, I think with the we just don't want to, it's always those contracts when you feel like you sign them. The day you sign them, you could never trade the player. Those are the ones you want to stay away from, or where you feel like you're handicapped. So you want to make, fair deals. Everybody's happy, but also, could make sense. If for some reason it doesn't work out, you can move on and they can move on.
Yeah.
But, that's kind of the philosophy.
A year under your belt as a GM, also a year for your head coach in the hot seat, so to speak, as the guy that has to talk to the media after. It's his plan that's being put out there. How does he balance, and how do you think he's done the job of balancing developing young players, but also trying to win with these veterans that are saying, hey, like, I signed here to be competitive and win? Because it felt like this first year was a really good blend of that.
It was, and it's hard because let's be honest, myself included, we all want to win every game. Every player down there wants to win. That's what you play for. But the one thing I like about Ryan was he's very open to the young guys. I could go down and say, hey, we're going to bring up Klapka. We're going to bring up Coronado. Can we put him on? Can we get him on the power play? Can we put him in position with Zari and Pospisil? And it's always a little bit of a battle with us back and forth. But, in the end, he ends up giving these guys an opportunity. And then, I think now that he's seen those guys come up and do well and do what, he's like, okay, I get it. I can give these guys a little bit of a leash. This is the way we're going to have to go. And he's open to everything. That's the one nice thing. I think, with Darryl might be a little different. If you're in the doghouse, you might be in the doghouse for a while. I think Ryan, you're in and you're out, and I thought Bob Hartley did a real good job at that too, with our young guys. He would be mad at Sam some days and then he'd be mad at John, but what he did is he played him and he put him in situations to get better, and they might make some mistakes and he'd shake his head. He'd be like, oh boy, but he stuck with it. And I think I see that in Ryan. Yeah. And I think, with Brad Larson coming in, even last year, we really did talk about what we were looking for with Ryan. We'd love to have a coach with some head coaching experience. Again, we made some offers. We didn't get the coaches. And now to have someone come in, I said, if Brad's worked with, Torts, it's going to be pretty good, hopefully, with Ryan. So real good. I really enjoyed kind of the interviews with Brad Larson, and then to kind of see him and Ryan work together and talk and what their philosophies were. And then, go to dinner with him and see him. And I think it's going to be a good fit. So I'm really looking forward to it. And Cale's going to get an opportunity. Nobody works harder in the NHL than Cale McLean. I don't know if people know what he does behind the scenes. Even the other day he was down there for 6 hours cutting clips. I'm like, what are you doing here? Yeah. But he's going to do everything in his power. He's going to be doing the power play. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he does.
You're a busy man. It's meeting after meeting after meeting. We appreciate you for coming by, making time for us. We'll hook up again. Good luck in Vegas.
See you in Vegas.
Yeah. You guys are going.
One of us is.
Oh,
it's a long story.
It'll be fun.
You'll see Pinder in Vegas.
You know what? We just went through all the sphere stuff, and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
it's tighter than a
rink.
Are
you buying a new suit? Are you like the drafted kids?
It is, but you find out some of the rules, and so usually you go up on stage, and literally they're like, okay, you go to this little stage to make the pick. The commissioner's there, and the player will come there. So it's a little different. Yeah. It's going to be a different
Broadway show. This is very exciting.
It's going to be
no pressure, but don't mess it up. Yeah, that's how it goes.
And are you doing the Bill Armstrong? Everyone wears the same suit, or you gonna let them? Because they're not in Arizona.
You should wear like cowboy hats and buckles.
That's right. Oh God, yeah.
And roll in with cowboy boots.
If you haven't talked to wardrobe, it might be too late, Craig. You got to hurry.
I was thinking about that. Should we do? Yeah, but it seems like Billy takes a beating for that. So I'm like,
I don't mind it. They could be better suits, but I like that. You know who they are.
Yeah.
You're part of the team.
Yeah, that's true. You know what? It is kind of it's. Should do something fun now
belt
that
buckles.
You're saying.
It's a great idea.
Belt buckles.
Stampede a couple weeks.
Snakeskin boots.
I know. Yeah. Well, Boomer can come down.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll try and.
Don't worry if you have any recommendations for the 9th pick. Let me know. Okay. Yeah, I'm open.
That doesn't scare me at all.
Perfect. Thanks, Craig. Always good to see you, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me. Too bad Rhett couldn't be here.
I know.
Is it?
We're used to.
You're right.
You're such a draft nut. I don't like. He's dying watching this.
Yeah.
He's more dialed in now that his son's getting older.
Getting closer to being dialed in.
It's like Jerome. He knows all the players in the next 3 years.
Very interested all of a sudden.
He has lots of opinions. Thanks, guys.